I'm always so excited. I am always so excited to be here. I'm always excited to share with you what I've been learning so far. Always so excited because I just want to show you guys what I've been learning. I just want to show you guys what I've been doing. And the best part is that we get to talk together. Sadly, you guys have not been communicating. You've not been engaging in the session. Like, don't just view and pass. Like, I like to hear what you think about what you've seen, how you think you can be better, your contributions and everything. Like, I just want to. I want to see the comments blow up by some of the things that we learn. Anything that is familiar to you, anything that you feel like, oh, I could have done better. Let's talk about it in conversation. So today, this, yeah, obviously looks like where we stopped in our last video. And I promised you guys that we're going to be doing something, another thing different today. And that is, we're going to be finding all our virtual machine, not just the virtual machines, our containers also that have access to buckets, that have sensitive data, that are internet exposed and have critical and or high severity vulnerabilities that have an exploit. So easy peasy, we are going to click on the search here, and that automatically just wipes out everything that we've done before. The first step we're going to be doing is to start with our root criterion. And remember in the last video, you started with virtual machine. And because we're going to be doing virtual machines and container today, we can click on cloud resource here. Gives us a list of things that we can start with. So we can start with the virtual machine and also click the container. Remember, our result is always in the thousands, right? Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is to attach a service account. What a service account does is that it gives you access to identity, right? It gives you access to know that you have access to that virtual machine has access to the bucket because by default, remember that a virtual machine is created without any access. You have to manually put in access into these things before they know that they are permitted to engage in other resources. So the next thing we're going to be doing here is to add a service account. A service account also enables us to add an IAM binding, which is like the next thing we're going to be doing here. So we have the service account that is used by it, the service account that creates. We're not creating anything. So by used by it is what we're doing. And yeah, so if you'd like to even read the query with me, it says find virtual machines or container that is acting as a service account. Now, the next thing is we're adding our IAM binding. Our IAM binding that entitles it. Entitles, remember, it has to have access. You have to be entitled, right? So let's read the query. Find virtual machines. Sorry about that. Find virtual machines or container. So it's going to give us results of both virtual machines and container. So find virtual machines or container that is acting as a service account that is entitled to an IAM, right? Identity access management, IAM binding. And then the next thing that we're going to be doing, you guess that right, is our bucket. So come over here and add our bucket to it. Our bucket. All right. Okay, so we have checked that it has access to virtual and bucket, and we're looking for bucket with sensitive data. So we come here, close to bucket, and check for data finding. So data finding has a Latin to data finding. And now to check that this virtual machine is also connected to the internet, we come close to this virtual machine here and check for successful HTTP GET. That way, we can confirm that this particular virtual machine is also exposed to the internet, whilst we also have access to a bucket that have sensitive data. Now, if you pay attention to this, you can see that the result is about 10,000 plus. But like I said, you would not see more than 10,000 yet. It's not a good result. But because we are still querying the result that we want right now, we've been able to confirm that this virtual machine also has internet access as well as has access to the bucket with sensitive information. Okay. And the next thing that we are going to be working with is, remember the question that has access to bucket with sensitive data, check, that are internet exposed, check, and the next thing now is to find the one that has critical or high severity vulnerabilities that also has an exploit. So remember how we search for vulnerability in the first video? We come over here and search for vulnerability. Sorry, how can I undo the last thing I did now? There's actually everything I've done, oh, thankfully. So we're supposed to look for findings. Findings now gives us access to look for vulnerability. So we'll come over here and look for finding, right? And under findings, right, we can now check for vulnerability and check for has exploit. Okay. So we'll check for vulnerability here. Check for vulnerability. Right. This looks like a lot of things. This is the table, right? Maybe we could go over here and get to see the graph. But stay with me. So we've checked for vulnerability, we've checked for findings, and now under that findings, still 10,000 plus. We're going to search for exploit. Has exploits. And this is it over here. And now that has exploits, the next thing that we're going to also be checking, which is going to be the last, is if that exploits, the severity is critical and high. So we're looking for both critical and high, and we can wait to see if our search result is still going to be 10,000 plus. So we can see that our result is still 10,000 plus. And we can see how much. Okay, so a quick diving into how the graph looks like. So this is how the graph looks like, right? This is what we just did. This is how it looks like graphically. This is our AWS that has permission, right? This is the bucket. This is the data finding. I mean, this is so much. I'm trying to scroll in so that we get to see. It's connected to the internet application endpoint so that we can check for the ones that have access to the internet. Okay, so we have the instance. Oh, and we can see how all of them. This bucket is exposed and service account. So this you can see how powerful this is. But let's just go back to our table. Right, let's just go back to the table this. Okay. So the next thing we're going to be doing is that we've gotten our results for everything and it's quite a lot. But looking at how this looks like, it looks so much. But there's something we can actually do, right? And that is what we call query blocks. So what you do in query blocks, once I implement the query blocks, you would see the magic that happens. And we can come over here to service account, click on this column visible button here, and group as query block. You can give this a name as group as query block, right? And then you save. So what just happened? You can see that there is a group name, group as query block, but it still doesn't look so. So what we're going to do is that we're going to still repeat the same process, right? Close to findings. All right. So we'll come over to findings here. See the same thing, group as query blocks, and we'll still give the name as group as query block. So when we save this, now something just happened right now. When we expand this, we can see every other thing that was into it. When we come here over here to expand, we can see every, so you see how much this thing is. The query blocks just has a way of making sure that your workspace isn't so messy. It groups your query like its name entails, query block. It acts as a group for your query. It groups your query. I don't know how best to explain this, but this is what